A now former sheriff's deputy out of Orange County, Florida, is in some serious hot water, as this individual was not only fired, but he has since been arrested for allegedly soliciting a minor over the internet. Now, as if a deputy getting arrested for allegedly soliciting a minor isn't already bad enough, it gets even worse, because authorities say this deputy came into initial contact with the minor over a separate alleged sexual offense that she was the victim of. My name's Greg Hoyt, and we're going to get into this story here on The Breakdown. Hey, this is Greg Hoyt from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Officials from the Orange County Sheriff's Department out of Florida have confirmed that 35-year-old former Deputy Charles Cruz has not only been relieved of all duty, but he has also been arrested for allegedly soliciting a 17-year-old girl. Authorities say the 35-year-old deputy came into initial contact with the minor early in February, as she had been the victim of what was described as sexual cyber harassment, which is something completely unrelated to what the deputy, or former deputy, has been accused of. Fox 35 reported on February 19th, Cruz responded to a call for service at the home of a minor who was already working with the Orange County Sheriff's Office Sex Crimes Unit because she had been a victim of sexual cyber harassment. The call to the home was related to a report of someone throwing an object through a window of the girl's home, possibly the suspect in the cyber harassment case. During Cruz's investigation, he made inappropriate contact with the minor victim by text message that became more inappropriate as he tried to gauge the minor's interest in meeting him in person, deputies said. Now, the Orange County Sheriff's Office found out about these alleged inappropriate text messages between then Deputy Cruz and the minor victim when they were reviewing the minor victim's phone in relation to her original cyber sexual harassment case. But also, I want you to take this into consideration. We are dealing with a 35-year-old deputy, a 35-year-old man, talking to and trying to gauge the interest of a 17-year-old girl who is only working with the police based upon a separate sexual cyber harassment case. So she's already dealing with being the victim of some sort of a sex crime. And you have a deputy with the sheriff's office literally trying to groom and commit a sexual offense against a young girl, with this deputy basically being old enough to be the girl's father. So, needless to say, when detectives with the Orange County Sheriff's Office caught wind of these text messages, when they found them on the girl's phone, they decided to take over the conversation without, informing the deputy that they were on to him. And so with then Deputy Cruz, completely in the dark, thinking it was still, making advances at this young 17-year-old girl, he allegedly took the conversation in a more pointed, in a more sexual direction. Apparently, the nature of these text messages were so bad that the local news outlet that reported on Deputy Cruz's arrest stated that they couldn't even broadcast them based upon how over the top they were.
Deputy Charles Cruz later entered or encountered that girl in an unrelated matter and started a conversation on a texting app. The entire arrest affidavit in Deputy Cruz's text had disgusting details too inappropriate for TV. This is the affidavit with their alleged conversation with Cruz, saying things like, "You are a pretty little thing, and I would like to see how you looked all dolled up." She tells him she is 17 and likes guys her age, and Cruz then responds by saying, "It's not that bad. You're about to be 18, while telling her he's like 24. But the arrest report clearly lists his age as 35.
Come February 24th, investigators had enough evidence to not only just relieve Deputy Cruz of duty, but they hemmed him up. They arrested him Johnny on the spot right then and there after they located him, and they transported him right to the Orange County Jail. So just think about that for a moment. Like, listen to the time span that all this transpired. This deputy first interacted with the young victim on February 19th. And in a span of just 5 days, not only authorities were able to figure out that he was doing something he clearly shouldn't have been doing, but they were able to gather enough evidence to drop him from the force and get him arrested and booked in jail, all in a 5-day span. Which that should tell you just how quickly and just how inappropriately this deputy acted. Because this is not just a simple case of an adult trying to groom a minor, for nefarious sexual purposes. We're dealing with an authority figure. that makes it all the more worse. Call me crazy, but I think the sentencing guidelines and the punishments doled out for these types of cases should be extremely harsh when you're dealing with, figures in authority, when you're dealing with folks like, who work in law enforcement, or maybe if you're dealing with, people in the education system, like teachers. The sentences and punishments doled out for things like grooming and molestation and what have you, basically any crime involving a minor victim, if the perpetrator, was able to gain access to the minor victim through their position of authority. But also, this is going to call into question whether or not this former deputy did anything else like this. Granted, he hadn't been with the force very long. Apparently, he got hired on with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in August of 2021. So hopefully there isn't a laundry list of controversies involving this former deputy. But still, that's a long enough period. That's over a year and a half in which this deputy could have, engaged in any number of inappropriate actions in connection with his position at the sheriff's department. Because again, remember the timeline of the case. He made contact with that victim on February 19th, and they had enough evidence to hem him up on February 24th. That was only 5 days. In a 5-day period from first meeting the victim, he was trying to allegedly get them scooped up, groomed, and involved in some kind of weird sexual relationship with him. So if the deputy can purportedly do that in 5 days, imagine what he can do in 18 months. That's all I'm saying. Orange County Sheriff John Mina issued a statement reading, "These are very serious criminal allegations, and there is no place in the Orange County Sheriff's Office for anyone that would abuse their power to victimize a minor. To make matters worse, this deputy preyed on a young woman who was already a victim of sexual cyber harassment. As law enforcement officers, we are held to the highest standard of conduct, whether on duty or off duty. He will never patrol the streets of Orange County again." Which, that statement from the sheriff, that's very comforting. It's good to know that he's taking a harsh, quick stance on this, because if by, some weird set of circumstances, the former deputy is able to skate past these charges, I mean, I don't see it happening because, they got text messages, but if, for whatever reason, he's able to skate past the charges, at least we know that the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and pretty much he's going to be persona non grata for law enforcement in Florida. It's good to know that he cannot adopt that position of authority again. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much a long and short of it. Let me know your thoughts on this case in the comments, whether you think it was a good, quick acting by law enforcement officials, or whether you're the type of person that thinks, oh, they were too quick to condemn him, they shouldn't have fired him, or something like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Anyways, guys, that was the breakdown. Peace.